Beloved in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, beloved in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, this is a very urgent message, very urgent message against a firm stance against women's ordination, Part 4. Firm stance against women's ordination, Part 4. Now, here recently at the graduation this past weekend at Oakwood University, we had Chaplain Kimberly Mann get up to speak Friday night. Now, there's nothing wrong with women serving as chaplains. They can serve as chaplains, beloved in the Adventist Church, but not as pastors, elders, and deacons. And so Chaplain Kimberly Mann got up there and she said, Friday night, she said, we need to have pastoral majors fight an agenda in the Adventist Church in which women will not just be baking the bread, but winning the bread or making the bread, or basically going out of the home and making money in 9-to-5 jobs, rather than being homemakers and being ministers themselves, pastors themselves, and spiritual leaders themselves. And when she said that, my heart was breaking, beloved, because 1 Timothy 2:12 says, but I suffer not a woman to teach nor to usurp authority over a man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed in Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, she should be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness and sobriety. So women should be saved in childbearing by having children and being submissive to their husband. Genesis 3:15 says, and he shall rule over thee. So the husband ruling over the wife, and the wife being in submission to her husband. That is proper home roles, male and female roles in the home and in the church. A husband being the head of the wife in the home, and the church, the men being the spiritual leader in the church, not the women the spiritual leader in the church. And then 1 Timothy 1 says, this is a true saying, if a man desires the office of bishop, he desires the good work. Notice the key word here, man has the qualification to be a bishop. He desires the good work. A bishop must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, good behavior, giving hospitality, apt to teach. So the second qualification is that he not only must be a man, but he must be the husband of one wife. And it's very hard for a woman to be the wife of one wife unless she's a lesbian. And then say spouse of one spouse is a husband of one wife. So it must be a man because he must be the husband of one wife. So it cannot be the spouse of one spouse or the wife of one wife or things like that. It's a husband of one wife, beloved in the Adventist Church. So, and then, look what the Bible states about women talking in the church or making spiritual statements in God's church for doctrine. This is found in the book of Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 14. 1 Corinthians chapter 14. Verse 34 and 35 says, let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is permitted unto them not to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience to all who serve the law. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is shame for women to speak in the church. So women are not supposed to be talking in the church. It's not saying anything but keeping their mouth shut. Women are not supposed to be preaching on the pulpit and spiritually teaching men. That's not their role, beloved, in the Adventist Church. Women are to be learning from men spiritual instruction. They'll be supporting men in their ministry or in their work by staying at home and doing home duties. But the role is not to be a spiritual teacher of the man or to go outside the home and win the bread and make money to provide for the home. It's the man's role to provide for the home, beloved, in the Adventist Church, not the woman's role to provide for the church, beloved. And that point must be totally understood because the headship principle says that the husband is the head of the wife and he's a spiritual leader of the church. He's a man of God, the husband of one wife, beloved, in the Adventist Church. And, the pastor at the baccalaureate speech at the graduation was saying the women are not being treated fairly in the ministry, and pastors should work to give them more rights when it comes to pastoral headship. Because our church voted in 2015 that women cannot be ordained as pastors. And we voted that only the collective body can vote that way. Only the worldwide church can vote that way. Beloved, if I ever become a spiritual leader, I'm going to vote against women's ordination. I'm not going to vote in favor of women's ordination because it's not biblical, beloved. It is not biblical, beloved. We need to have spiritual headship with the man, the husband and one wife, beloved, in the Adventist church. So I disagree with the pastor at the 11 o'clock service back of Lord at Von Braun for graduation, and with the chaplain Kimberly Mann on Friday night. But also disagree with Dr. Pollard bringing in a worldly entertainer that played on different world on television back in the day to speak for commencement speech. We should not be inviting worldly entertainers and promoting Hollywood at our Seventh Adventist commencement speaking. We need to invite spiritual leaders of God's church to speak there to encourage the graduates, beloved. All these things are the apostasy of latter times. Now, beloved, I wish I wasn't saying these things, but I must say these things. And a lot of people enjoyed my graduation this past weekend and clapped for me. But if they clap for me and not receive my message, and I'm preaching a straight testimony message, beloved, it's like the prophet Jeremiah or Isaiah. They come to me with fair speech that love me with love, but the heart is far from me, beloved. So I don't want these to say of these people that they love me with the fair speech, but the heart is far from me, because I'm giving a straight testimony. But I'm going to continue to give a straight testimony, even if they don't receive me, beloved, because I'm going to stand up against the apostasy. Early writings, page 266 states that the straight testimony causes a shaking amongst God's people. It says, it states that the straight testimony will someone rise up against the straight testimony when it's given. It will cause a shaking amongst God's people. So if this causes a shaking amongst God's people, let it cut. Let the truth cut. But I must give the straight testimony. Maranatha. God bless.